template in place where you have the same limits being quoted every time?
I just started that as of last week when I met with Eric. I was like, what the heck? And then, because I would rather give him the cream of the crop and then take off from there. You know what I mean? I didn't even, because I was trying to ask all these questions. He's like, no, you just got to do it this way and that's that. And I was like, obviously he knows what he's doing. So I'm a student of the game. I'm 4 months with trade or 4 months with country going a little crazy trying to figure out instead of like streamlining it so it's saves me time looking to get an assistant and all these other things. But it was just, yeah, he let some major light bulbs go off.
I can quote under here.
And it was, yeah, I mean, after that, I see how it would be like streamlined. He's like, yep, 250, 500. He offers roadside assistance, safety glass, all of this, uninsured, UIM, all of those. I was like, oh, of course that would be easier if the cheaper if it's a new car and so forth. I was like, yeah, I was just trying to serve the client by just picking their brain and asking them more. And I was like, nope, let me just go directly like how he does it. He's like, nope, I don't have to. He's like, I don't even do this. I was like, oh, okay, how do you do it then? He's like, boom, boom, and he wrote it down on a paper, and it was like automatic. And I was like, that is really cool. So I told him he's been marked in a good way, like I'm trying to follow his trail.
Their prospect or something I can quote under that doesn't have an auto policy. If they have an active auto policy, it's going to try to pull that. So give me just one moment. You know, I think at this prospect right here, I can just delete this quote.
How long have you been with Country, Paige?
Started, but I'm actually almost to my 2 year mark in January with
Holy,
Eric
oh
and with
wow,
Country.
wow. Well,
I
con
know.
congratulations, man.
It was very overwhelming in the beginning. It was very difficult. So I couldn't even imagine being an agent starting out that way without kind of leaning on everything that has Eric has implemented already.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how, and I explained, I was like, hey, I let him know up front, like I need major help, not just with this, like protocols, SOPs, all of these things on here. Just because it's a whole different ball game,
Yeah.
I
Can you still hear me?
yes, yes,
Okay, perfect. Let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it perfect.
Okay, perfect. So, this is a client. I actually know them personally just from being born and raised in Central Oregon. We wrote their home last year, and he had quite a few accidents, so we just weren't competitive on the autos.
Okay,
So I just deleted the auto quote so we can just start it over from the beginning together
okay.
to show you how fast
I'm
we
gonna,
look at doing it.
I'm gonna put my timer on too. Are you ready? You tell me when to hit go. I'm just like I said, I'm excited to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, you can hit start.
Okay, starting now.
So obviously that's going to depend on every client. I'm just going to use today as an effective date.
Do you do the fast 7 days in advance for fast quote?
I don't know. I
Okay,
mean, I can quote today or if they have a specific effective date. So if they're like, if we're doing an auto home umbrella because they're buying a home, then I'm going to use the effective date of the closing of the home.
okay.
Unless they want something different. If not, I'm going to use today. And
Yeah.
if we need to push it out, we can.
Okay.
So I'm not changing anything here. I'm leaving payment frequency as semi-annual because I can talk about payment frequency at the end. I don't need to know that right now. Has he lived at this address more than 30 days? Yes. That's very important if they haven't to put their current address to make sure that their information pulls in.
Got it.
Most of the time, these are going to be no. I've never had to hit yes on those questions.
All right. See, and I guess that was my biggest thing is I kept on reading this. I was like, I don't need to read it. It's the same questions every time. They don't change it based on the person. Okay.
as of right now, but I can see he has 250, 500 or higher. Normally, I would quote owner occupied discount right here, multi-policy discount. Since he's inactive, has an active homeowners, it's already plugged in.
Gotcha.
I always quote MPD on there. All right, so this is just pulling in multiple of the safety.
Okay.
Just gonna delete these. These are his twin daughters that are not on the policy yet. They're not old enough to drive. And then this is him. It's pulling him in twice. So what I normally do is go grab his social and put it into this one. Because it's pulling into his full name.
Got it.
And I have him listed as Chris, but his full name's Christopher.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna update this on my side. He's married to Jenna. Always order MVR during quote, and I always say no to DriverIQ.
Really? Okay. Why
That's the
is
one thing that we always say no to because it's something that we can add on at the end. And that just comes from the history of 99.9% of our clients don't want DriverIQ.
okay? Gotcha.
So for us, normally that's when I'm like, hey, I would rather not have it on there. Then I would rather have a more expensive premium now and then get to add the discount on if they want it, rather than having a lower premium and then be like, well, I don't want that, and then the premium goes up.
Oh, wow. That is a good explanation. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So he's licensed. He's not licensed yet, so I just listed him as a non-licensed driver. Jenna, we're gonna go in yes to MVR, no to DriverIQ, and it shows that she's married to Chris. It changes. Resident removal reason, Christopher Parker, duplicate, Luca. We're just gonna say never in household. Normally, I would keep his daughters in the household, but I don't have any information on them right now since we don't insure them.
Okay.
So here is all the vehicles that pulls in. These ones that don't have the make or model, it's usually because the VIN hasn't pulled in accurately or something.
Okay.
2025 and 2026 VINs don't pull in on their own, and probably until next year.
Oh,
Then I'm just deleting the vehicles I know they don't have. So these are the 3 vehicles that I know they do have from my conversation with them. And I know all the vehicles are owned and for pleasure use.
you do that for pleasure across the board on everyone?
I know they are using it for business use. So I would put for business and profession,
Gotcha.
but it's not very often. 99.9% of our clients will have a commercial auto policy with us if they're
Okay.
using it for work.
Got it.
So for pleasure, most of your clients are going to be that way. I never press on select package. I just go straight to coverages because it will autofill the like custom fields.
Oh.
I don't know why. I hate the feature.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Does that
250, med pay not in Oregon for private passenger vehicles. We do PIP. 250, 500. Death benefit, we don't offer it.
you guys always do the PIP at 15?
Always. Yep.
Okay.
State minimum. It's very rare that we see people wanting higher PIP. We always quote $1,000 deductibles with every endorsement.
Okay.
So, like on an average day, if I'm just running through a quote, I'm just adding every single thing on here under coverages. Like I said, DriverIQ is something to talk about at the end if they want it. But I would rather than be like, oh, you know what, I would do that, or I would let my son have that coverage. Then their premium goes down rather than goes up when I take it off.
Got it. And for the driver's IQ, is it one person or does the whole family have to be on it? It could be designated drivers to receive any of the discounts, correct?
Yep. Driver by driver. So Jenna could do the driver IQ discount, and Chris and Jackson could not do it if they would prefer to. But the discount is only going to be applied to the vehicle that she's assigned to.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not like a policy-wide discount. It's going to be applied to this vehicle that she's assigned to for that rating.
I thought it was a policy wide. I was getting excited because I'm the only one that's on my driver's IQ, but I'm like, okay. I was like, it's 21%. I'm like, thank goodness, because our rates are outrageous.
And we're done.
Wow. 6 minutes, 22 seconds. And that was it. And then you just print and you go over the coverages with them on the phone and okay.
I do it a little bit different on the home, which I'll show you.
Okay.
And so when I'm in my sales appointment, I'm always, highlighting that this is a semi-annual policy, it's a 6-month policy. And drivers that are listed here, if they had children driving, they would be listed here.
Okay.
I run through, liability limits. And so when I'm quoting, I will also look at the quote form before I send it to them. So when I'm saving it, I'll run through it top to bottom and be like, okay, awesome. I can see my 4 endorsements on here. If there's not 4 here, I'm like, I missed something. Whether I was going too fast and didn't click it, but something's missing if there's not 4 endorsements. So
Wow.
knowing what needs to be listed here, that emergency road service, vehicle rental, trip interruption, safety glass full coverage, and uninsured motorist property damage. I want that on every single vehicle unless I specifically quoted it without it.
Gotcha. And you always do semi-annual or instead of automatic monthly or any of those payment options?
So that they can see the premium with the paid in full discount. At the bottom of the page, it shows them all their options.
Right.
So in my appointment, I always verify that their accidents and tickets are correct pulling in. So Christopher, when I quoted him last year, he had 3 tickets. Now he's down to 1 because they've fallen off.
Oh.
So I always verify tickets and accidents. And then I just talk about like, hey, you get a discount for paying in full. Like you can see your savings here. If you wanted to do automatic monthly payments, it would roughly be $476.74 a month.
Okay.
So it gives you the breakdowns on the bottom of the quote. The reason we don't quote it monthly, if someone is like, hey, absolutely, I want to pay monthly, then I'll quote it that way. But most people are not like that. Most people want to see their options. And like I said, I would rather have the cheapest premium for them to see right here versus a higher premium.
Got it. Because when you quote it in there, the system will automatically show the other options to pay quarterly, monthly, annually, or no, not annually. Okay. But if you were to quote it like monthly, you would only see the monthly option.
Automatic monthly green right here.
Oh, okay.
Still be here.
Okay.
The total term premium, so because you lose the discount for paid in full. So technically for 6 months, your premium goes up to the $28.60. So at the top, instead of this being $25.76, it'd be that 2,800 number.
Got it.
So if I could show them the cheapest number at the top,
Right.
and then be like, okay, well, if you want to switch to monthly payments, you lose the discount for paying in full, and here's our options for different plans.
Okay.
If you prefer to not pay in full.
Got it. And it's that, yeah, that was very simple and yeah, it helps seeing as you doing it. I was like, okay, I wasn't too far off, but I was off a little bit, making it doing that automatic fill in instead of bypassing that screen that would save me time because then I'm having to edit it anyways.
It just pre-fills it. And what it pre-fills it with is not how we quote in the first place. Liability limits, deductibles, and options. And so by bypassing it, I know that I have to click in each option and do it the way that we want that quote to sit.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going back and that pre-fill was, oh yeah, it saves you time, but you're not because you're having to adjust every auto on there.
If you accidentally press on it, like say we finished this quote right here, so we have the premium, I've sent it to the client. If I'm in this quote looking around and I accidentally press on this page again, it's gonna
Oh, I lost you. Are you there?
so you should make sure that, yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yes.
So I was saying if you have sent the quote to the client and you go back into the auto quote and you press on select package, it's gonna pre-fill this my custom coverage package, which I have not saved any of these. These are just what's in there. If you go to the coverages, you're gonna see that it changed your coverages.
Oh,
So now it changed it to 100, 300, 50.
oh, wow. And the deductible and all those options, roadside, all of, holy moly. So that comes preset. Yeah, I was,
So, I mean, I think, I don't know if you can change these. I don't know if you can change these preset plans.
but
I
you
mean, you
can,
can hit no package, but then if I go into coverages, it empties it out again.
okay,
So I just avoid the screen. I avoid that in total.
okay. Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So does that make sense?
Absolutely. I wasn't too
Okay.
far off. I was really close, but I was just going through all of these things and because you guys don't offer death benefit because you want to offer the life insurance option or the
Yep.
question, correct? Okay. Yep. Got it.
And the option to fill it exactly how you want it. Rather than having it pre-fill for you and then you have to change things. And then if you miss things, I would rather these things be empty, not pre-filled, and then me having to change it. Because what if I accidentally skip over one and don't realize it?
Now you can't mix and match coverage on there. Say if he wanted that 2017 at 100 and then he wanted the other vehicle at 250, 500.
No,
It has to be
yep, liability limits have to be the same for all vehicles,
okay.
but deductibles can be different. Or you
Deductible.
can do, you can put vehicles on storage, or you can do liability only on a vehicle.
Okay. And by checking that blue box up at the top, that one's just the liability only. Or that's no, that's goes into coverage, correct?
Box needs to be checked for liability coverage to apply to the vehicle. So if I wanted to put this vehicle in storage, I would uncheck the box and put a comprehensive deductible. I would not put a collision deductible, and then these would all be no.
Okay. That's okay.
So
That's
that's putting a vehicle in storage.
no
So
check is
only
vehicle in
comprehensive.
storage, only comprehensive. And that covers if theft, auto, or tree falls or any of that stuff in there. Got it. Whew. Good job, Paige. You get a gold star. If I was there, I'll give you a fist or a double high five. And yeah, that was awesome. Do
And
you?
but we'd make sure liability is back on there.
Okay. Yeah, that's my biggest thing is just having a system and figuring out like this is how we're going to do it across the board. This is easiest and it's yeah, it just streamlines it. And then you can always go back and make those adjustments with the customer when you meet with them. And when you meet with a new customer, do you go over all the coverages or do you sound like on the phone, hey, we have comp at this, you have collision at this, you just go down this line and tell them you want safety glass or you don't mention any of that, or do you just say, hey, how does that look? Or what is your process?
Bottom explaining liability limits.
Okay,
I explain what they need. If you're in an at-fault accident, we're going to pay out $250,000 per person or $500,000 per occurrence or per claim. So if you hit someone, these are the maximum limits that we're going to pay out at. After that, if you do not have an umbrella policy in place or extended liability, then you guys are held personally responsible. And that's why we want these liability limits at 250, 500. And then I go into property damage. I explain uninsured motorists. If someone hits you guys and you're not at fault, but they do not have insurance or they do not have enough insurance, either uninsured or underinsured motorist liability limits. And then I go vehicle by vehicle if they have different deductible options. If one vehicle has liability or if it's all the same, I'll go through and be like, hey, this applies to all the vehicles. We have $1,000 comprehensive deductible, $1,000 collision deductible. And then I'll go into emergency road service. If you're locked out of your vehicle, or need a tow, you pay the tow truck, will reimburse up to $100. Vehicle rental trip interruption. If you're in an at-fault accident, we're going to put you in a vehicle similar to your own. If someone else hits you, their insurance is gonna pay for the rental. And then I'll go, wait for some feedback if they're quiet, like safety glass coverage. This is my favorite, especially here in Central Oregon. We have a lot of cinder on the roads. We file a lot of these claims. It's a $0 out-of-pocket deductible to repair or replace your windshield.
Gotcha. And that's anything, the turn signals, anything that acts as glass, correct?
That is correct. I will not go into like the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
I just say front windshield, back windshield, or side windows.
Okay. Because then,
Because is if they take that the wrong way and they have damage to those, because wear and tear is not covered, under any insurance policy. But if something comes up, hits it, that would be a covered safety glass claim. But I don't go into the nitty gritty of, headlights or turn signals, something like that.
okay. Yeah, I think I was trying to overdo it instead of just streamline it. Now with the uninsured motorist property damage, if they, and the limit's $20,000, so that would cover if the person doesn't have insurance and they get hurt and they can't work up to $20,000. Is that correct?
Uninsured motorist property damage is damage for the vehicle. So
Okay.
it's essentially, if someone hits them, it does not leave a note, leaves no information. So a true hit run,
Got it.
you can file a claim under uninsured motorist property damage, and it's going to provide them with a $300 deductible rather than their normal collision deductible.
Okay.
But to be able to have coverage under this, if it's a true hit and run, they have to file a police report within 72 hours of the incident, or else it's just going to be a collision claim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I'm talking about that, I will always advise people to file a police report if they're ever involved in a hit and run and they've no information. And then I will even be like, it's so easy to do these days. You don't even have to have a police officer come out. Most of the times you can just file it online. But we need a police report within 72 hours to be able to use this coverage.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Thank you.
We just learned that the other day, to be
Oh,
honest with you. The
geez.
72-hour rule.
Okay.
We knew that we needed a police report, but we actually just had a hit and run claim. That we found out through the adjuster that it needs to be filed within 72 hours for it to be covered under uninsured motorist property damage.
Gotcha. And then what was is there a coverage that maybe I heard this, or I don't know if this was in there. Does country offer if they get somebody's hit them at work, or you're walking down the street and you can't work and they hit you, you can use that as insurance, as a claim, or no? For Yeah, that's the 15. Well, so UMI and I'm going through a PIP with my son right now. He ended up, um, but the UMI underinsured motorist, like we have the max out for whatever because what is the difference between uninsured and underinsured from the coverage that we have down there, the $20,000 limit?
Property damage. So this is for a
Property, got it.
Yeah. This one is going to come into play like liability limits. If someone hits my vehicle,
Okay.
I'm T-boned, and they do not have insurance. So this is for hit and run property damage, but this is where a claim is going to be filed for the liability limits that are going to be paid out if someone hits me and they do not have insurance. So I'm going to file a claim through country under my policy, providing the person that hit me's information, and then country will pay out on the claim under this coverage and then go after the driver that didn't have insurance. Or let's say someone hit me, they totaled my vehicle, the total claim has come to be like $100,000 between medical bills, all the things. But they only have 25,000, 50,000 for liability limits. So their policy maxed out at 50,000 in the claim. Well, there's $50,000 in my claim that still needs to be covered. That's going to be underinsured. So they do not have enough insurance to pay my claim.
Got it. And that's when country's going to go after XYZ company because they didn't have enough insurance.
Yep, that's when they're going to subrogate that difference
Okay.
that's been paid out.
Okay. Very cool. Man, I'm going to call you Page Auto 101 studies right here. That was awesome. Holy moly. Good job. Thank you for breaking it down in those stories and in that format too. just light bulbs are finally going off a lot better than what they were before. I was just, yeah, making it overly complicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of information, but you can definitely streamline it. And then I think if you give too much to the client, they're just going to get overwhelmed and not know what to do. So if you step into that sales appointment confident that you're the professional and you wrote this policy to best suit their needs, then they're going to go with it. It's not very often at all that I get people being like, "Oh, I don't want road service. I don't want vehicle rental. I don't want this." Usually they're going to agree with what I have put together. Like it's not very often that I get that change where they want to remove a few things. If they do remove it, then I just say, absolutely, we can take that off for you, no problem.
Okay. And that's it. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige. I really, really appreciate that. Man,
Let me delete this and then we can jump into a home.
awesome. So are you in Bend as well, or you work remote?
Remote as of just a few months ago. Right
Okay.
before summer, I actually moved down to Roseburg, Oregon.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations. Well, tired of the cold weather out here, huh? No.
And his family are from here, and they actually own Bend Electric over there in town. They've owned it for almost 30 years. They opened a secondary shop here in Roseburg. Everyone was just ready for kind of change of pace and to be back where their family is.
Oh,
They
heck
made a
yeah.
move.
Well, congratulations. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think I moved to the wrong state. I wanted warm weather. As I get older, I'm like, my joints are hurting more and more in this cold weather stuff. I'm like, what the heck? Hopefully, yeah, this morning we woke up, it was a nice 32. I was like, oh man. And I take my dog walk for a walk first thing in the morning. So I'm like, it is my winter attire is out on full blown right now.
Yeah. Winters are long in bed, I'll tell you that much. Okay, then let's jump into quoting a home. Obviously, we already insured this client's home, but we're just going to pretend that we don't. I'm going to use the effective date of today just because we already have something in place. We have the correct street address. I always make sure this is accurate. Because
Okay.
if you're quoting a rental dwelling, that's not their primary address. You're just going to hit edit address, and then that's where I would change that. So
This
while that's pulling up,
this doesn't mess up any of your guys' systems in there for
do you use style?
yes.
Okay, awesome. So if I was quoting this for the first time, I'm going to pull them up on dial and I'm going to Google their address.
Do you have a preference from Zillow to Redfin to any of those other um
It's all personal preference. I personally love Redfin, but it comes down to what each person specifically likes.
yeah, it seems like Redfin has more detailed pictures than Zillow.
Yeah. And for example, there's no pictures on here because these clients built their home.
Gotcha.
So they bought the piece of land and built the home. So when I wrote this, I went to dial, land and structures, and then here's their home.
Okay.
I'm gonna have this pulled up. Effective date. So policy deductible, we personally always quote with a $2,000 deductible. If the dwelling coverage goes over $1 million, I quote a $5,000 deductible.
Okay.
So I know this is a very, very nice home. Dwelling coverage is going to be well over $1 million, most likely. I'm going to quote a $5,000 deductible. Chris, yes, the applicant has been here for over 6 months. The more you quote too, even if you just do it under your own name, the more you get used to where the questions are.
Okay.
So this is one of the kids. I'm not going to list him as an insured on the home policy.
Got it. None of the kids should be on the home policy or the driver's policy, correct?
The kids should be on the auto policy if they're in the household. So we had Jackson on the auto policy. The reason I removed the twins is because I don't have any of their information.
Okay,
And just for showing you how to quote quickly, it just wouldn't have let me quote without their information.
got it.
But if they're not on the title of a vehicle, you do not need to list them as named insured on the policy. So
Okay.
every person that's named insured on an auto policy, if we pay out in a claim, their name will be on the check.
Oh, got it. As opposed to just the husband and wife.
Yep. So that's why we have Jackson as not a named insured on the home as well. But
Okay.
Jenna and Chris are named insured.
Okay.
Additional information, they've not had any losses in the past years, have not been non-renewed, and no animals. I'm gonna put in quote MPD, like if I'm quoting their autos. So first thing I always look at is wildfire score.
Oh, okay.
If I can see the wildfire score now, I can just preface in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to reach out to the client and get pictures, because there's none online because they built the home. And if it's over 70, or I guess over 60, I'm gonna need photos to submit to underwriting.
Gotcha. And is that
So-
something that you have the clients take, right? Because I've been driving out there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't keep on doing this.
Most of the time, the clients are more than willing to send us pictures. If the clients have a primary home in Portland and a primary home or a secondary home in Caldera Springs, if they can't go out to take the pictures, we will go take them. But we try our hardest to have them send it to us because it's, we're losing our valuable time driving somewhere to get them.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've been spinning my wheels going to there. I'm still new, like still tell people I'm still in the womb, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like there's
Okay, so here we are. First screen, we're gonna scroll down, owner occupied, yes. That's where we would change it to seasonal secondary. Purchase date, I'm gonna go to dial, go to sales. And they purchased this August of 2020.
okay.
Oh wait. Yeah, so they didn't build the home then. My mistake. Someone else built it. But they purchased the home August of 2020 for 2.4 million. So purchase date 08/2020. I personally know that they do not have mortgage, so I'm gonna change that to no. But we're gonna just pretend that they do. So does the dwelling have a mortgage? Yes. Is the policy premium billed to the mortgage? Yes. These are questions I ask them on the intake. I ask them if they have a mortgage, if it's paid out of their escrow account, or if they pay it directly. And I always ask if they have a trust on the home.
Oh, okay.
And
And
that can also change the premium.
gotcha. And you're just going down this. You're not doing that on paper. You're doing everything on the screen as you're going through it. You're asking them these questions.
Date sheet.
Oh, you are. Okay. Okay.
No, I wouldn't retain the information correctly if I just did it this way.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, there's so many different things on here to make sure that I'm asking everything. And then you also research some of the stuff on Redfin too.
But there's no attached garage, so I hit no. I know the dwelling's not unique, A-frame, or a log home. I know it hasn't been fully renovated. These are all things I've gathered through my intake call. Are there any pools or spas at this location? No. Does the location have solar panels? No. Does the dwelling have a fireplace? Yes. Gas fireplace. So right here, the difference is wood fireplace is a masonry fireplace. Solid fuel burning device, that's like a pellet stove or a freestanding wood stove. So it's important to know the difference on those two.
I did not know that.
So if you press solid fuel burning device, additional replacement cost is out the window because they no longer qualify for it. Because if they have a freestanding wood stove or pellet stove, they can only get up to extended replacement costs.
Got it.
Same thing for is the dwelling a unique construction. So log homes, A-frames, dome, or these unique homes only qualify for replacement cost. So not even extended or additional replacement cost.
Oh, wow.
So if you hit yes right here, you'll only get replacement cost right at that question.
Okay.
Does the dwelling have any protective devices? These questions, you can ask for clarity for it, or they'll usually tell you on the phone. If they have smart home devices or centrally monitored devices like that. Most people don't have those extra things, but some people do.
Okay.
So right here is it auto fills to extended. I'm immediately going to additional if I can. Always. And risk of direct physical loss.
One. Is that is the best of the best coverage for their home?
Correct.
Got it.
A lot of policies that have been transferred to us have the mistake is people are not double checking this roof. It pre-fills with a roof schedule, but they qualify for a replacement cost.
Wouldn't you think the country would want that to have an automatic pre-filled since, I mean, they're making a ton of money off of everyone until claim to.
I go top to bottom on this page first, and then I go into my valuation.
Oh, okay.
Evaluation.
And this is,
Go ahead.
oh, the evaluation, this was the part that like was just, I was like, how in the heck are you supposed to do it? He's like, no, I do it this. And I was like, I don't have to go through and check on the dormers. I was like, I don't even know anything about construction. He's like, I don't either. I was like, well, shoot, you've been doing good enough for this many years. And he's like, yeah, he's like, no, I want it fast and in and out as quick as I can.
When we're looking at square footage, standard homes, we want to be roughly at $300 a square foot for dwelling coverage. It's just kind of a good base point of where you want to land. So if this was a standard home, which by this picture we can tell it's not a standard home, like it's not a cookie cutter home. Obviously this is a very high end home. We would take the 5,315 square feet right here, now times it by 300, and that gives me 1.594 million
Okay.
for dwelling coverage. So it's not like a set standard, but you want to make sure that you're, within reason of what it would cost to rebuild your home. And so if I was going into this valuation for the first time, I'm like, clearly this home is not standard. I would even say premium or custom.
So you did the square footage divided by the dollar amount, correct?
Times 300.
Times three. Oh, times 300.
Or when we're looking at very nice homes as well, when we're looking at high-end homes, we want to be closer to $400 a square foot for rebuild value.
Okay.
And so it doesn't have to be that number, but it just gives you a sense for, kind of the ballpark that you want to be in.
Gotcha.
So I changed that to custom, so I'm going to see what that does to the premium. At the same time, I'm looking at this. So I can see it's a 2-story home. 2 stories, crawl space. First red flag, the siding says aluminum or metal. And I know that's not accurate. Most homes are not going to have metal sidings.
Right.
Most homes are going to have a cement fiber or a clapboard type.
And these come pre-filled as well.
This does come pre-filled, but you always want to verify it all for the most part.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure the garage is, accurate. This seems pretty accurate. If I have pictures of the home, I can be more accurate. If it was a normal listing, at the same time, I'd be going through pictures on the listing, looking at the flooring in each room.
Oh, okay. So you would go into detail. Gotcha.
I know they have a gas fireplace. That's why it says 0 clearance. Masonry fireplace and freestanding stove are the biggest ones that we see.
Okay.
And then I'm going down. So 1.5 bathrooms seems very little for a 5,000 square foot home.
Right.
And then I can see right here 2 full baths, 1 full bath. So it's a 3.5 bath.
3.5.
So you gotta check these to make sure the valuation is accurate.
So there is no half. Oh, the half bath is just the one. There's no half bath.
There is a half bath. You can take
Oh,
it away.
gotcha. Okay, just
So
on
they-
the Okay.
Yep. Foundation shape 13 plus corners, that'd be regular. That's accurate. It's not just a standard square home. I'm not changing these numbers because I don't really know about, exterior doors, things like that. Walls, it shows us 10 feet, which is accurate. I'm not changing a lot of this. I'm
So,
going through,
and you don't change the wallpaper. See, that's the thing. I was like, what the heck? Like some of these wallpaper. Okay.
unless there's something funky on there. But this will just pre-fill.
Gosh,
It also changes based on how you set it on custom or premium or above average.
got it.
For the siding, the roof is correct, bathrooms, bedrooms, square footage. Those things are the most, accurate. So 4 bedrooms, which is correct. I can see 4 bedrooms on here.
Right.
I'm not changing much of this, walk-in closets, indoor pools and spas. I can see that they don't have any pools outside by that image.
Okay.
I'm not changing that. If they had a detached garage or things like that, putting it on there. If they had
Right.
solar panels, I'd be putting it on there. But they don't have any of that.
Okay.
So we're at 1.3. If we do that square footage times 300, we want to be around 1.5. But I think that's a little low, so I would go in here and change this to premium
Gotcha.
because that's going to up the valuation.
So the premium is that comes pre-filled and all that stuff as well.
It's based off of this valuation.
Okay.
So going from custom to
Oh,
premium,
wow. Yeah,
change it to 1.9.
got it.
So your valuation can't be higher than what you insure the home for. So let's say my valuation came in at 1.9, but I left the amount of insurance at 963,000. Like I haven't updated this yet. I can only offer them replacement costs.
Okay.
So I need to make sure I at least match.
That number above, that's the same for replacement costs.
Additional replacement costs.
Additional. Okay.
Yep, then I'm done on this one. That's the most extensive part of the whole quoting.
Wow.
Auxiliary private structures, I know they don't have any, so I'm just gonna say no, I don't wanna change anything, and there's no fireplace in here. That's 10% of what we insured the home for. And then this is where we get a little quicker with things. I'm always quoting $1 million
Yep.
in liability, 25 in med pay.
Okay.
Then I always run through here, make sure I don't need to add anything on here. I'm gonna add property deductible waiver. Scheduled personal property if they've mentioned, jewelry, things like that.
Got it. Why do you add the property deductible waiver? What is that?
If they have to file 2 claims for the same loss, so their home burned down and their vehicle's in the garage, but now we have an auto deductible and a home deductible, it waives just $1,000 worth of that deductible. So it's kind of like $1,000 off the top if they have filed 2 claims for the same loss.
Okay. And you always do. Sorry, I'll shut up. Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, you always do direct loss, not broad form on it.
Always.
Always. So why do some agents do broad form when is it that much cheaper?
It's cheaper, but it's not worth sacrificing on the coverage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So our clients don't know the difference because we always have that listed on there.
Okay.
And then we always quote earthquake coverage. Because I would rather give them a higher premium and then let them take things off to lower the premium.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's option 1, that you have different options. Most of the time you're gonna see option 1. So because we don't have a lot of brick homes, things like that.
Right.
What is the construction type? It's wood. So you just want to make sure you're picking the correct option. Most of the time it's going to be option 1. But the other day I quoted a brick home, and so I can change the option to include masonry veneer, to include a brick home.
Oh wow.
But they are not very common.
No.
Next thing I'm going to quote every single time is service line coverage.
Okay. That I have been quoting on there.
Which is
And you don't do the sewer drain water sump pump failure backup, that one?
we did for a little while, and people just wanted it taken off. Most people didn't need it because not everyone has a sump pump. So we don't quote it on there unless we know they have a basement that has a sump pump. One
Okay,
thing I always quote is unoccupied residence. If it's gonna be a secondary home, if they're not gonna be there full time, we wanna have this endorsement on there.
okay. Wow.
Consumer reports, I'm just gonna make sure they're working back. Claims, didn't have any claims on there. Additional interest, if you are quoting a home and you list a mortgage, you need to add a mortgage on here. So what I do every single time is just use JP Morgan as a filler because it changes your premium
Okay,
when a mortgage is listed. And so my goal is to make sure the number I provide them is the exact number they need.
okay.
Because if I quote them and I don't list the mortgage on there and they do have a mortgage, and then I come back and be like, hey, I'm so sorry, it's actually $50 more because I listed your mortgage. I'd rather just avoid that whole conversation. And if I know they have a mortgage, I'm gonna fill JP Morgan on here just as a filler, just so it's an accurate premium.
You can adjust and edit that mortgagee anytime without, and that won't change the premium based if they're in Colorado or or Arizona or Texas. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
Okay,
Listed versus not listed.
got it.
The other thing that's gonna change the premium is if they have a trust. So I always ask it in my intake. The other thing is I can see right here, Chris Jenna Parker Family Trust.
Oh,
See
okay.
that their home's owned in trust.
Yep.
So I'm gonna add this trust onto my quote.
Oh, as an additionally insured.
Yep.
Okay. And then you just copy that right in. Okay. Yeah, man. How many can you add? Well, obviously you can add multiple. Can you add more than one mortgagee? Two, three, or is it? Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's just whatever the.
Because a lot of people have HELOCs on their home.
What is a key lock?
A HELOC
Or
is a
HELOC?
home equity line of credit. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
So when you have equity in your home, you can go take a loan out against the equity in your home as
Okay.
a second mortgage.
Got it. And so that's where you would just add an additional and additional insured or additional interest if they had a HELOC. Okay.
Where you're gonna see the difference. What I always do is I always press proceed to application to make sure my quote's gonna be accurate. Oh, it's telling me I didn't check this box. That I verified the valuation results.
Don't let me rub off my bad stuff on you, Paige, okay? You're doing good. Like I already own all those check marks. You don't know how many times I've been going back. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm glad like country stops me from proceeding, you know what I mean, before I send it off.
So what it's gonna tell you once it gets to this they just added this right here. It says indicated as mortgagee billed during quote and mortgagee was added to application for accurate additional interest rate. They used to not have that. So I used to present quotes. I learned this on my own. I used to present quotes, and then when I added the mortgage, it changed the premium. And that's why I started adding JP Morgan as just a filler. But now, if I remove JP Morgan, like if I didn't add this as a filler, it should be in red now, saying that I listed that a mortgage should be on there, but I haven't added one yet. See how it turned red?
Oh, wow. And that lowered the price too. Okay.
So that's why I always so 4,800. But I
Gotcha.
know this place, I asked them during intake if they have mortgage. So that's why I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible.
Perfect. Because then that's where, oh, hey, we just saved you another 200 bucks and they're gonna be happy go lucky for that.
Yep.
Awesome.
So you're just trying to make it the best possible experience for them in most accurate numbers.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I was doing that, especially when it comes to home, I was spending way too much time on that. And how you have it, like that was it. And I inherited this book of business, but I'm seeing like on their broad form, there's two and or 2 through 19. I'm like, oh my gosh. So when I'm doing an annual, is this right? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, okay, well, how would you explain it if they had broad form like that only is going to cover this amount compared to, you know,
Broad form in risk of direct physical loss is also known as named perils and then unnamed perils. So broad form, if it's not listed as a named peril, then it's not covered. Risk of direct physical loss, even if the peril is not covered on there, it can be a covered claim.
because it's the risk of direct physical loss. Got it.
Yep. So if we look at coverage illustration, which this is pretty new for country. Here's our perils that are covered
Okay.
on
Oh,
here. So these are just examples of what are covered. When it says vehicles, it's talking about a vehicle hitting the home,
okay.
not your personal automobile.
Not the vehicles parked in the garage, because that's under their auto policy.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Risk of direct physical loss and saying, hey, these are all covered, but also if it's not named on here, it's something that could potentially be covered. Broad form means these are the only things that are covered.
That's where they list out the 2 through 19 or 2 through 18.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. So it's a lot of agents, a lot of policies used to be written that way, broad form. So it's not the wrong way, but it's just the new way to make sure they have the best possible coverage is to have one risk of direct physical loss.
Right. Okay. Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige. Man.
It's a lot of information.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. My head's spinning, but I'm glad like seeing, but just all of those things and how he has it streamlined, how you guys have it streamlined to save you time is the biggest thing. Like I'm trying to adjust, trying to go in here and trying to know, and you just do dial and Redfin and that's it. Like those,
Yeah.
yeah, I was doing, yeah, I don't know why Google Earth and all these, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making it overcomplicating it.
To get the information. Uh, if I can't find it on Dial or Redfin, obviously I'm investigating more, or if I need to ask the client directly, I will. But just making it as streamlined as possible so that when you do need more information, you have the time to go get it, but that you're also not spending hours on every single prospect.
Right. And so one person was explaining, you want to do as many less touches as you can, contact meaning
Yeah.
like, so if I can get as much information and then I just go down here on all the things that I do as a new agent, like I've been like, oh, I forgot to get your date of birth. I was like, son of a gun, I'm kicking myself in the butt because I knew it, but I just didn't have it. And I was like, oh, and I already need your social or I need this now. I'm like, okay, going through was just having my own little checklist. Um, I did not,
Passport.
and see when I go down a rabbit hole with this and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, I spent hours in there. I was like, oh, this is frustrating. And then Christine McGuire, she's awesome, but she doesn't know all of the processes on quoting. You know what I mean? I was like, why not? You just need to know this as much as 40 other agents you have or whatever. Also, you're slacking as my boss. Come on, boss. No, like, and she exactly laughed at me on that one too. I was like, oh man, it's just, it is a lot, but awesome. I appreciate, oh, it was night and day difference. Thank you so much. And